Hey everyone, it's Adam and Kathy, the vegan preppers, and we're getting ready to do a couple chat. Fasten your seatbelts. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Vegan prepper. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Vegan prepper. All right, I don't know if anyone is still watching, but
I'm sure they are.
Yes, hopefully you are. But yeah, we figured we would talk a little bit about our 2022 and some of the things that we did, some things that happened, and maybe some of our favorites, like books and TV shows and movies, things like that, and then talk about 2023 and some of the things that we are hoping to accomplish or wanting to sort of shift in our lives. And yeah, let's go ahead and I guess get right into it. Why don't you talk about your big recent accomplishment?
I finally did my ultra. So after months and years of work, I did my first 50K trail race a couple weeks ago, and was successful in the completion of it. I was slightly slower than I had wanted to be. My goal was 7 hours and I was 15 minutes over that. But I'll take it. So it was a question as to whether or not I was going to even be able to do the race, because I had injured my knee about 4 weeks before the race. So my hopes for even being able to race at all were seriously in question, and had the wind knocked out of my sails there for a couple of days, as I didn't know what was going to happen, but some good therapy and some good vibes. I was able to get my training back on track and got a nice couple of solid training runs before the race, and
yeah, you crushed it as far as I'm concerned. It was an amazing accomplishment. So it was 31 miles?
Yep.
31 miles.
Yep.
Yeah. Running for over 7 hours straight. Like, that's... Although you were doing a little bit of walking, I guess, right?
There was some walking.
Yeah.
It was an extremely hilly course at the end.
It was crazy. It was like so flat because the way that they had it set up, they had live updates. So I was able to check on like where he was on the course, which was pretty cool while he was doing it. And yeah, it was 31 miles and it's like all flat pretty much. And then at the very last, 10 or 15 miles?
10 miles.
10 miles, suddenly it goes into the mountains. And it was like, at the end, all of the elevation gains. And yeah, it was crazy.
It was, the first part of the course was boring. I was like mile 12. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just this straight flat road, dirt road I can see like forever. It just keeps being flat and straight, and it was all open desert, and we were going through a cold snap here in the AZ. So in Arizona, it was 30 degrees. It's extremely cold for where we live. So in the open desert, the wind was just coming across like crazy, and it was cold and boring. Yeah, and then at mile 19, we get our first real elevation, and then for the rest of the course, it is in the mountains. So it was yeah, running 20 miles and then getting to the hard part of the race.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, you're just the whole time like watching, and yeah, it was really kind of incredible.
Yeah, a friend of mine had completed a 50K earlier this year, January this year, and he was telling me it was very emotional for him when he finished, I was like, yeah, I can imagine that would be. It's a pretty big deal. As far as like, I mean, tons of people do it now. It's like becoming more common. But it's like a step beyond what most people even consider doing. So, so when I finished, I was just like elated and happy, and then I was like kind of an emotional wreck for like a few minutes. I was like, it was like, I don't know if just how much I put into it, because it was a lot, and how much fatigue and how much suffering goes into doing something like that. I don't know if it just all catches up with you once you are finished with it, but
your body needs to process it.
Yeah.
You know.
So, but that being said, I am very hooked on ultrarunning now. Because in spite of how difficult and painful the whole thing was, it was like, yep, this is something I do now.
Despite of how difficult and painful the whole thing was. If you were a
Glutton
chick,
for punishment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you were a woman, you would be addicted to childbirth. It's like, but yes,
there is a certain charm to that type of suffering.
Oh gosh, yes, I know you are always pushing yourself. You're always needing the next challenge, needing the next thing, and so I don't know. It's neat to watch you just kind of continue to excel and overcome every challenge that comes in front of you, and yeah, it's pretty great. It's nice. Yeah, you're amazing.
Good times.
Now I'm trying to think of my year. I don't know. I spent so much time this year. I feel more than in years past. I feel like this year I was taking care of people. Like, and I know like I always do, but this year it feels like it was more. Like, somehow.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a lot
more demanding. A lot of stuff came up, and I was basically mom. You know, I was yeah. It was like I always felt like I was constantly being pulled, kind of in all directions. And like the kids, I was telling you at one point, and I was like, this is the way it feels. Like the kids run like one of those revolving doors. Like one of them pops out and needs something, and I take care of that, and then that kid goes away, and then another one pops out, and it's like this never-ending cycle, which is good. I'm not meaning to complain, but yeah, it was like, it was a lot. And our younger son this year was diagnosed officially for the first time with autism. So that was definitely also a bit of a journey, getting those appointments, being on the phone with doctors way too much. We all know how I feel about that. Maybe you guys don't know how I feel about that, but he knows how I feel about doctors and phone calls and all that. Arranging that appointment was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever experienced. I feel like he's like, I ran a 50K. I'm like, I got my kid an appointment with this doctor.
It's bananas.
Like everything I went through.
Complexity of how that had to happen was unreal.
And like the way that the appointments were scheduled and the way, anyway, it was just ridiculous. I tried for, it was months. It was probably 6 months. Is that an exaggeration?
No,
trying to get that appointment.
Yeah.
Calling almost every week to be told all the appointments are taken, and like, anyway. So yeah, once it kind of became a possibility, we wanted to find out for sure. It's just funny. I've learned so much too. I feel like that has been a really big journey for me this year as well. Learning about autism, how it presents. There's something called high masking autism, which is something that basically our son has, which is somebody who basically can function because they have, or they don't, not so much the functioning, it's that they can appear as essentially neurotypical because of all of the ways that they have adapted to appear that way. Even though that's not, it's not necessarily true. And so definitely he had so many of those tendencies because I had so much guilt for letting it go for so long. But realizing that he was adapting, he was overcoming, he was continuing to like accomplish what needed to be accomplished. And I'm so proud of him for that. Like he's fiercely independent, and like he's barely ever in the videos, right? Like we've had this thing, and I think any of you who have watched for any length of time, you've heard me talk about my son and how interesting and unique he is. And that's always been like the thing where I just thought he's just kind of super unique. He's just always been himself, right? And I never like tried to force him to do something he didn't want to do. Certainly never forced him to be in these videos for whatever reason. For the most part, he does not like to be in the YouTube videos, even though he'll be on a stage in front of hundreds of people acting, because acting is his passion. He just doesn't like being in the videos, and I never forced him to. So little things like that. Like he's just so unique, and I always thought that everything that might have indicated autism was just his uniqueness. It was never like something that was messed up about him, And I still don't see it as even a negative. It's like an explanation. Oh, this is how my son's brain works, And I think it's amazing. It's a difference, not so much a deficiency. And so yeah. Interesting. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of been, I think, a huge chunk of my year has been involved in all of that. And then taking care of everybody. Thad going off, right, to our older son going off for an internship over summer. He's getting ready to leave again next week. This last internship he had was 8 weeks. Now he's going off for one that's 4 months. He's going to come home for a little while, and then he's likely going to go. So we're kind of on the cusp of him moving out. So that's another kind of big thing. And Sage started preschool, so I don't know. It's funny. Like all of my updates are what's been going on with everyone else. So I feel like that's what's been going on with me. So not filming nearly as much as I want to, not making nearly as much content as I want to, but it's just been a very, very full, very full year. Yeah. But
at the end of that full year, you did the...
No, it's fine. I can kind of edit it out.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I can. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll test the editing of my phone thing.
I'll start again. So you did the, in amongst all of the craziness, you did the big charity event at church. And so basically, yearly, Kathy blesses a group of women at church with jewelry that she hand makes. And I think this year it was 150-ish people.
It was 175 attendees, plus all of the volunteers, and
so 200-ish people get blessed with a free piece of handmade jewelry that Kathy makes herself. She had decided that she wasn't going to do it this year because of all the craziness going on in her house, and then like 2 weeks before, she's like, nah, I'm totally gonna do this.
I have to.
How can I not? Because she's the freaking amazing person she is. And it's like, goes against her very nature to like not be amazing. So of course she was gonna do it.
Oh my gosh.
So, and obviously I love her and she's amazing. I married her for a reason. But like, without missing a beat, like just pulls it off and does it because she's got to bless people, and it would go against her very nature to not do that. So, yeah, that was in amongst the chaos. She manages to pull off this, making hundreds of handmade pieces of jewelry that people went gaga over. I basically go and I help out, handing stuff out. They're like, "Did you guys make this?" And I'm like, "No, she did." And then they ask her, "Do you guys make this?" And she goes, "Yeah." I'm like, bull crap, we made it. I didn't help with any of this stuff. I'm just here to hand stuff out. Let's be very clear about who made things.
Yeah.
So
those aromatherapy necklaces were hot this year. They were so hot. They went so fast. I felt so bad for everybody who wanted them, and because they were seeing other women wearing them and they didn't get one. So next year I have to make like 50.
She's over there doing custom essential oil blends for people, like asking of their life story, like, "Oh, you have asthma? Let me put this essential oil on there. This will totally rock and roll."
To be really clear that I'm not saying that it's a cure for asthma or like a cure for anything like that. It's just there's certain, well, you know, for instance, a eucalyptus that can really help open your nasal passages, and when there are certain essential oils that are extremely beneficial specifically as an aromatic application. So like eucalyptus, like peppermint to like perk you up, you know, and stuff like that. And also assuming, because many of these women don't have access to essential oils or don't have that kind of stuff. And so like, I had to, I'm not just going to assume everybody has it. So I have to bring my oils with me, and then, you know.
Maybe I should get some eucalyptus on here, just blowing my nose off camera.
It's like, I'm going to start yawning off camera pretty soon. Just like lean over and go, woo. Anyway. But yes.
So yeah, she's great.
Thank you.
So my accomplishments are all about me.
Oh gosh, that's not necessarily true. I don't know. You're you make yourself healthy and strong for our family. This is why everybody, like, it cracks me up. I guess also this year was kind of the year of trolls. We really unlocked the depths of
so great
some YouTube troll comments and stuff. And you're super feminine. And
yes.
Low in testosterone apparently, and
chicks have great beards.
You're super skinny and
yes, all
that. Also, I'm super fat, you know. And he's skinny because he's vegan. I'm fat because I'm vegan. And both of us were this way before we went vegan. Veganism didn't change anything.
What's really funny is, I spent years developing distance running, and it's funny because in the 2 months before a race, I actively am losing weight to get to my ideal race weight, which is 150 pounds. So that is where I am the most efficient and the best balance for my body, for muscle tone and body weight. Mm-hmm. So I trim down before a big event. Yeah. So if I look skinny, I've always looked like that, but it's also on purpose.
Yeah. Also, the front-facing camera is very flattering for me, and maybe not so much for him. Front-facing camera makes you look skinny. FYI. That's why everybody films this way. But anyway, it's not a big deal. You know, it's just like a thought. Like, I should pop the camera off and show you with the back-facing camera. I mean, I don't know. You're still
skinny.
I'm
still 6'1" and 155 pounds, so I'm always gonna look skinny.
Yeah. But yeah, you're Vata, right? This is coming into Ayurveda, right? And then the doshas. You're a very Vata body type. Tall, skinny, prone to joint issues, which you definitely have. Prone to all kinds of things that you definitely deal with.
Handsomeness.
Right. Definitely very pitta in your personality and in your drive. That's very pitta. So you're you're an interesting mix in that you seem to be almost completely physically Vata and emotionally, internally, mentally very Pitta. Fire, drive, determination, you know. I'm like Kapha in a lot of my body, which tends to be bigger and all of that. Very compassionate, very all that. And then also Vata, the airiness. So he doesn't have so much that mentally, but I have it like mentally, emotionally. Anyway, it's an incredible, incredible way to be able to look at the world and kind of figure stuff out. The other thing that's kind of incredible is looking at the different, because these are people who are very smart. Ayurvedic practitioners. I guess, yeah, it comes from India and it's been around for what, 5,000-6,000 years. So it's like basically extremely smart people observed for a very long time that people with certain body types have certain issues and certain.
Yeah, it's not like a horoscope,
right?
Where it's this kind of vague generality. It's yeah, thousands of years of observation of physiology and
it's incredible. So anyway, I don't know why I suddenly launched it to that, but that's you. I mean, I guess this maybe the point is that we all have different body types. We all have different
we're all different people.
Ways that we are, you know. Not everybody is the same. Not every guy can be a giant meathead, you know.
Right.
Not every chick is going to be this super waifish petite thing, you know. So okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So
we all look exactly the same. It'd be pretty boring.
Yeah. All right. So I guess you want to move on to some favorites, 2022.
Yeah.
Okay. Who should we start with? TV shows, maybe, because we don't have anything to show for TV shows. We'll get that out of the way.
Sure. Where are TV shows?
The Rookie.
The Rookie, yes.
That's been for a few years now. It's a really great show. We love that show.
It's a cop show with Nathan Fillion.
Team Chenford all the way. Absolutely, 100%. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have not watched that, check it out. It's just a good cop show.
Excellent show.
Very, we love our police officers. So it's, for the most part, very honoring police officers and what they do for us.
Yeah.
Which we greatly appreciate. So it's also, you know, great, heartfelt, fun at times.
Just such a good show.
Yeah,
like
really,
just like you love everyone.
Yeah.
You love, it's like, anyway, it's just very good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Is the sage waking up?
Sounds like I thought an airplane was landing on a roof.
That's hilarious. Okay, just a second. Right, she started a really late nap. Like, she just fell asleep. She's eaten a lot today, and she fell asleep. I've noticed on days she eats more, she sleeps. So, I don't know.
We may get interrupted again. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Normally she doesn't eat that much. So, The Rookie. And then as far as new shows that we also just kind of blew through as fast as we possibly could. What is it called? Foundation. Yes. On Apple TV?
Yes.
Was not expecting to be into that at all or interested in Apple TV. Thad got something, our oldest son. He bought some new piece of technology or something. He saved his money and he bought something. He's an Apple guy in a house full of Android people. So he is also just himself, and I love that. You know, I support my children no matter what.
Even if they buy Apple products.
Even if they're Apple people. Ugh. Anyway, sorry, I'm just kidding. I love all of you Apple users who are watching right now. But anyway, we tease him, and he teases us too about our dinosaur phones and all that. So anyway, he did, and he got free Apple TV for like
3 months or something.
With that purchase. And so we ended up watching Foundation, and that was like, I cannot remember the last time I've been that obsessed with a show, or that like watching it and then like needing to watch the next episode. It's like maybe when we were watching Heroes, like way back in the day, we were staying up until like 2 o'clock in the morning watching episodes of Heroes when we were still in our 20s and doing that kind of stuff. We did not do that this time with Foundation, but
if you haven't watched Heroes, don't start watching Heroes at 10 o'clock at night, because you will not get sleep that night.
Yeah, because that show is obsession inducing as well. But man, it was so good, and I found myself just completely transfixed, mainly by Lee Pace. Pretty much every episode that didn't really have him in it, I was like, what am I even watching? What's going? No, I'm just kidding. It was still good, but like that man, he is truly like in the list of like truly great actors. It's just pleasure to watch him perform.
So I had the problem of having read the Foundation book by Isaac Asimov that the show is very loosely based on. If you have read Foundation, do not expect the Foundation show to be the Foundation book. It is not. I really like the Foundation book. So first episode, I had to get over the fact that this was not going to be the book. It is not in any way the book. It is entirely excellent in its own way. It is not the book. But it was captivating and extremely well written and very well acted and amazing. Yeah. Not the book.
Very much
amazing.
Very much a grown-up show as well, obviously. Like it's a grown-up show. But goodness, there
wasn't like gratuitous anything in there. It wasn't but it's adult subject matter.
And most of it was kind of more suggested rather than blatantly shown, which I super appreciate. Like I had lost hope that any show would be truly like well done that did not have all that crap also thrown in.
Yeah. Like
with captivating storylines. It's like, it's one of the reasons I think that we in the last years have become so interested in foreign entertainment. And I don't like, as Americans, anything that's not from here is foreign. Okay. I'm not like saying I don't know. It's just, it's not American. So obsessed with cinema from, Bollywood, like India to Chinese, and even we've watched a few Japanese movies, like a lot and I know some of it still, there is some of that even in other cultures, but for the most part what we have seen has not been like that at all. It's just masterful, incredible storytelling without gratuitous things. You know what I'm talking about, the things. So whether it's the violent kind or the other kind, like I don't want to say too many things because I don't want the video to get demonetized. You have to be really careful and like tell them every time you talk about anything disturbing, you have to like say, yes, I fleetingly mentioned this. It was not the main subject matter of the video, like to mark it like safe for ads and not safe for ads. I don't know. It's crazy, but yeah. So anyway, Foundation was fantastic. Very cerebral, difficult to figure out at times. But just so interesting. So interesting. So yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
Was Wheel of Time this year? Or was that last year? I can't remember.
Well, it was whenever it came out. So it might not have been this year. But Wheel of Time was somewhat similar, but it does have some violence in it. It does have,
yes, that does have violence in it.
That does have some gore.
A little scary.
A little bit. Also definitely very much a grown-up show. That was also kind of same thing. Masterfully written, very well done, very well told without having to be majorly gratuitous. So, yeah.
Also based on a book. Don't know if it's based on a really long book series.
Yeah, I looked into
books.
it and I was like, I just don't know if I have time right now. Maybe
it's a lot of books.
Maybe another time. I'm not even through the Outlander series yet, so. All right, so we did allude to movies. So should we bring up our probably number one movie of 2022?
It just happened?
Oh, that one. I was talking about foreign movies, like our Bollywood.
Oh my gosh. This is a good year for Bollywood.
Yes.
There's
my
two.
gosh, yeah,
There's
there's
two.
multiples. Yeah, you have
least
a
two.
couple, yeah.
So, interestingly enough, So Kathy got me into Bollywood. Did not expect it to be my jam.
Good movies.
But I discovered that Bollywood has this, for the most part, not counting you, Dawn.
Dawn?
Dawn.
Oh, D-O-N.
Yes.
The one that we just watched that you did not like.
Did not like. Don't watch that. For the most part, Bollywood has this sophisticated people would call it simplicity, but I call it greatness. In that the good guy wins and the bad guy loses and everybody's happy at the end. Win. I like that. I am simple in that that I want happiness at the end of my movie.
Right.
I don't want the bad guy to win.
Right.
Dawn.
Giving spoilers. Oh gosh.
Don't watch it anyways. It's crap. So, all that to say, the two of the great movies we watched this year from Bollywood were things that I found, and most of the great things have been Kathy's suggestions. Bahubali was a couple years ago. Was a movie that Kathy had me watch and is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Well, it's two of your favorite movies of all time, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's part 1 and 2, but it's one thing.
It's 6 hours. It's amazing. It's all the people complaining about Avatar 2 being too long. We're just like laughing, like, you amateurs. Whatever.
That's like every Bollywood movie,
right?
So at any rate, yeah, I discovered these two movies. The first one is called RRR. Mm-hmm. It is basically about two. I don't remember the names. Two significant individuals from India's history and their fight for independence. It is fictionalized in that, well, it's fictionalized, but the writer had the idea what it would have been like if these two individuals who didn't ever meet had been friends. Mm-hmm. And it is amazing.
It's an incredible movie, although... Okay, sorry. So RRR, and then...
I have zero idea what the name of it is.
Lal Singh Chadha.
Yep, that one.
Oh my gosh. So good.
That is...
oh, here she
Here
comes.
comes the girl. Hey, sweetheart.
Hey. No, come here. It's okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to cuddle?
She's awake.
She did wake up. Do you want to cuddle? Yeah.
So yes, that movie is a remake of Forrest Gump. Mm-hmm. And if you guys remember Forrest Gump, if you've seen Forrest Gump or you haven't seen Forrest Gump, it's basically a story of a man, and it ties in significant events from history, mm-hmm. Recent history, the 60s, 70s. So in the Indian version, it is essentially the same story, the same basic plot, but it ties in significant moments from Indian history.
Yes.
Very, very cool. And
so much that we didn't know, right? Because
yeah,
we haven't studied Indian history. We had to we kept pausing and like Googling what was going on, because there were certain things we didn't recognize, like the anti-Sikh riots. I never knew that happened. That was he's Sikh, the main character, and it was just very, very interesting. It kept being a history lesson. Yeah. And so yeah, it's fascinating. It was a really, and just exquisitely written. So well done. Amir Khan is like
incredible.
The GOAT, like he is greatest of all time, by the way, in case anybody doesn't know what that GOAT, greatest of all time. He is like, he's got to be, I mean, as amazing as SRK is, Shah Rukh Khan, as amazing as he is, I don't know. Amir Khan
it's different, yeah.
It's different. It's like Shah Rukh Khan is like famous and he's amazing in his own right. Amir Khan is like Lee Pace. He's just an incredible actor.
Yes.
Like, we saw him in Doom 3. Like, if you want to see some incredible performance, watch Doom 3, DHOOM 3. You don't have to watch 1 and 2. It's fine.
Not related directly.
But yeah, 3, and it's incredible. We see Amir Khan do just an incredible performance. I mean, like, we just rewatched it the other week. Like, that one was incredible. It doesn't necessarily end super happily. But yeah.
Yep.
In our heads it did.
Yep.
I don't want to give too much away though.
Yep.
But, yeah. So anyway, just an incredible movie. So yeah.
Yep. So those were definitely two high points.
Yes.
Just
yeah.
incredible movies.
And then most recently, Avatar 2.
Yes. We've been waiting for forever.
12 years for this movie.
We are super fans.
We are.
Of Avatar.
We love Avatar. But
so,
yeah.
I saw it 2 or 3 times in the theater. The original. We went to the theater multiple times to watch the first Avatar.
Yeah.
And then we
just so good.
bought the Super Ultra Edition Blu-ray thing and rewatch it all the time. So we have been not so patiently waiting for old James Cameron to finally finish them.
Yeah.
So now we're supposed to get 2 more over the next 2 years.
Pretty soon. Yeah.
But very good.
Yeah. Very cool.
So.
Yeah, we love it. Love it, love it, love it completely. He wrote it so much to really highlight the plight. And this is something that we've done. You ran. I did my first 5K, but I think it was last year for Survival International. We talked about it. This is a charity that focuses on the fact that indigenous populations are still... Oh, there's something on the floor. Indigenous populations are still being displaced because people want their land and the resources on their land. And so much of what he was trying to do with Avatar was to highlight that, like the fact that is still going on. And so, yeah, sort of trying to tell the story in a very sci-fi way. I know there's been a lot of backlash on his movies, and it's like he's trying to talk about how this is a current problem. So it's like we should be, seeing that, telling it again in a sci-fi way, where you tell the story in a setting, typically in space, so that people can be maybe far enough removed from it that they can figure out how to care about it here.
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyway, it's not that he wasn't specifically connected with Survival International. That's just an organization that's kind of doing the same work, and that was a lot of his motivation for writing the story, was to highlight he was trying to help with the indigenous populations in Brazil specifically, who are losing their ancestral lands because people want to cut down the Amazon and
plant cows there.
Yeah, do cattle farming. So obviously there's so much about that we disagree with. But even if we ate meat, it's just horrendous. It's a horrendous use of that land.
Yep.
So anyway, regardless, love that movie. I know it's not very popular, or there's people who are criticizing it for various reasons, but it's like he's got a point. Like it's a current problem that is currently happening. He wants to highlight that. So anyway,
I think it's funny that like people get snarky about it, but like the numbers show that people are interested.
Yeah.
And people are watching it.
Right.
So, you know what? Just like we've got our trolls, imagine how many trolls James Cameron has.
Many. So anyway, I think that getting angry about it and boycotting it and protesting it is, I don't know. I'm not necessarily saying that people, they're welcome to their own perspective and opinions, but I don't know. In my mind, it seems short-sighted because he's trying to highlight this issue. So anyway, nobody's talking about that. Anyway, regardless. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. Okay.
Turn to 100.
Turn to 100. Oh yeah, it was 100 miles. That's what she said at the end of the movie. It took too long. We did bring her with us. She was mostly running up and down the hallway, and I was like standing there watching through the little opening where I could see the screen, and she was like going because she was not having it.
We went on opening day and we did not have a babysitter available.
Yeah. Well, she loves the first one.
Yes.
So it didn't, but obviously she can run around here.
Yes, she can not have to just do that.
Yeah.
When she's here.
So anyway, definitely not appropriate for kids. That was a bit of a parenting fail on our part, but yeah. Anyway, the other 2 kids were with us. It's hard trying to juggle the ages.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So shall we quickly discuss our books, I guess?
Yeah.
And then move on. I'll try to do it quick. I have one mention as far as cookbooks for me. The star cookbook of 2022 was the Korean Vegan. This book is insane. Like every single thing we've tried out of this is insanely good. Like I can open up a couple. I think a couple of them are just gonna. Yep, the potato one. Look at those potatoes. It's like maple and soy sauce and all that. And now the other one, watch, boom. Oh no, wait, it didn't go. It's funny. I was like, you can see it. Oh, there it is. This one I'm gonna also be making for New Year's because apparently it is traditionally served at New Year's. But this kind of insanely good potato and rice cake soup. These Korean rice cakes are kind of like gnocchi a little bit. Very delicious, and I might throw a few black-eyed peas in because that's kind of my New Year tradition. But it's just such a delicious soup. We're gonna have that. But yeah, everything I've tried out of here has been incredible. She is the reason we tried just egg for the first time. And
so good. That's
got
top of 2022 right there.
You got scrambled egg back into your life. I don't remember where the little egg rolls are, but like the traditional Korean egg slices kind of. So she does it with just egg. But yeah, this is an incredible cookbook. Highly recommend, not just for the recipes, but for the stories and her stories of her family and her culture and growing. Like, it's just, the most amazing book. I love it.
Honey, you're not going to have any more room than you have right now. We barely fit on the screen as it is.
And then I also read this book. This book was kind of a balm to my soul over the craziness of this year. Well, obviously the Bible, my Bible study, my prayer time, that is huge, but I know not every one of you is a Christian, and so I'm going to offer you this. It's called Practicing Simplicity, and it's not misspelled. It's written by an Australian woman. And so it is just seriously one of the most beautiful books, both in content and in aesthetics, that I have read in a very long time. And it's just kind of all about cultivating moments and simple life, and kind of her story of selling everything that they own and getting into a caravan and driving across Australia. It's just an incredible book. I was captivated start to finish, and yeah, it just was really a wonderful thing for me. And then this one too, I haven't finished it completely yet. Be More Human by Tony Riddle. I'm like right there, but I feel pretty confident that I can say this is an incredible book. Sort of rethinking everything that we know of life. Like, it's just an incredible foray into kind of what it means to be a more natural person. He calls us, basically, we're all zoo humans. We live in a zoo, basically. We live very far from our natural state. You don't have to be you don't have to live in nature to learn more natural ways of being. And so I really love that book. So anyway, that's my recommendations. Okay.
Second time through Extreme Ownership. by Jocko Willink and Luke Babin. It's
You want something to drink?
technically a leadership book, but it is a great book for anybody who interacts with anybody at any time, who has a boss, is a boss, has friends, has relationships. It is basically the guidebook to being a more person. It is about owning your life and owning your responsibilities and just being responsible for your actions and not passing the buck.
Yeah.
Like it's excellent. Anybody who wants to become a better human being should read it.
It's in my tower.
Yep.
I'm gonna read it this year.
So this is 2 years in a row. This has been one of my books. It may be on the list for 2023 again. It's just really great to get reminders about taking charge of stuff. I've been on a fiction kick this year. Stack of Isaac Asimov books I finished. Good stuff. If you're into ancient sci-fi. I happen to like science fiction books that are from like the 40s and 50s. I think they're really imaginative because say like Out of the Silent Planet by oh my gosh, C.S. Lewis. Sorry, brain fart. It is describing space travel before space travel was a thing. So it's like purely out of the imagination. Same with H.G. Wells. There's these imagined concepts of going into space before anybody had ever done it. They don't know anything about it. So I find that very interesting. But a lot of the Isaac Asimov books are written from 50s, 60s, and they are these imaginations of items and things that didn't exist yet, and they were just purely out of the imagination. I find it really entertaining. But I really like those books.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, but I just started David Goggins' new book, Never Finished. It is, if you haven't read Can't Hurt Me yet, that was a last year book for me. I think Kathy might have read Can't Hurt Me last year as well. Very good book. So much language in it.
Language heavy, yes.
There's
a clean version.
There's a clean version.
They released, yeah.
The OG version is so many F words. So extremely good book. Very languagey. So same with his new book, Never Finished. He's never finished saying the F word. So if you're unfamiliar with David Goggins, he's an amazing human being, has a super potty mouth.
Major potty mouth, yes.
If you are potty mouth sensitive, I am not. The industry I work in, I'm used to it, but I don't talk like that myself, but I am somewhat used to it. So yeah, those are kind of my. Oh, Sage, don't.
She's trying to crawl
She's
under
not
the tripod. Here, I guess we need to finish this up. Okay. We're already over 50 minutes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
All right, honey. We're almost done. I'm going to quickly do notable music.
Okay.
From 2022. First was Rack Shack by Bloodywood. Bloodywood is an Indian metal band who was amazing. We went to one of their shows in October. They happen to travel all the way from India to the Phoenix area. So that was cool. So we got to go see them. It was an incredible show and tons of fun. 2 others, I don't have the physical versions because there aren't physical versions. Some of the music I listen to is small enough to where they don't produce actual physical.
He likes 1940s sci-fi. His music is weird too.
2 hard rock / metal. First one was Pain Split by Plead the Widow's Cause. They are a Christian, kind of like hard rock metal type thing. I don't know what their actual classification is. And then most recently, Fishers of Men by A Secret Ending. It is my top music of 2022 and one of my top musics of all time. It slammed its way into top 10 for me. I'm a heavy metal guy. I do happen to have a happy place in my heart for Christian metal bands because I don't have to worry about what's going to happen on the radio, and I'm Christian. So this is a biblical history lesson of the 12 apostles in death metal, symphonic metal form. It is incredible. If you are into heavy metal, check that out. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I
awesome.
Cannot stop listening to it. So, yep.
Yeah.
So
I think that's basically it. We don't have time, I don't think, to talk about 2023. Maybe we'll do that
part 2
in the next couple chat. All right, Sage, you wanted to say something? Okay, what do you want to say?
The potatoes are spicy.
The potatoes are spicy. Oh my goodness! She's talking about those potatoes from the Korean vegan book.
Is that what we had the other night that were so spicy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were very spicy.
I tossed 3 cayenne peppers into that very small amount of potatoes because our cayenne peppers have not been that hot. They're getting hot now. So it was an incredibly spicy dish, but so good. Like, everybody was so good. Like, there were no words. There were just scraping of bowls that I hear throughout the house. It was like,
very good.
Yeah, it was crazy delicious. But yes, they ended up being very spicy. Next time I will trust the cayenne peppers that come off my bush outside, and I will.
Yeah, we've had this interesting seasoning of our peppers where we had jalapenos that didn't have flavor, and then they were the hottest jalapenos that you've ever seen. And then
I love the tofu and rice.
You did love the tofu and rice. Yes, I also did it like a pineapple teriyaki tofu that night, and so she loved that.
Yeah, and our cayennes came off the plants, our first ones, and they tasted like bell peppers. They were delicious, but they were not spicy at all. And now they are becoming doom.
Crazy spicy. So yes, you gotta respect the peppers that we pull from the yard. So,
our peppers are so good.
I don't know what it is about our yard. We grow some good peppers here. So anyway. They're good.
I don't like them.
You don't like them. Okay, all right. Well, anyway, I guess that's it. So we'll go ahead and sign off, and hopefully I have enough space in my phone to even export this video. We'll see. But yeah, as always, we hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you for staying with us through this kind of overview of our 2022. Let us know down below if you've got any highlights in your 2022 you'd like to share. And yeah, I guess that's it. See you guys later. Thanks for staying with us. Bye. I don't know if they're even still watching. I'm such a dork. I can't help it. But anyway. Hi.
You're a dork, but I love you.
I'm a dork, but you love me?
And I love you.
There you go. Thank you.
And that's why I love you.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so we just sort of figured we would get on and talk a little bit about 2022, some of the things that happened in the course of our year, some of our favorites, and yeah, maybe a little bit about what we're looking forward to in 2023, and I don't know, goals we'd like to accomplish and things we'd like to do.
Yep.
So, do you want to go first and talk about your thing, 2022?
Yeah. Anything particular?
Your thing.
No.
Your big thing. Like the thing that you were saying you were going to talk about. Oh my God.